Howdy, Sax Geeks. Andy Volker here, the Saxophone Geek, at our regional headquarters, if you will. Yeah, I like doing these. I don't do a lot of videos for you because there's so much content out there. How to play scales, how to play other scales, how to play more scales, how to play scales over scales, how to play arpeggios over scales, how to scale arpeggios over scaled arpeggios, how to scale your arpeggios over arpeggio scales, and the elusive triadic concept. Woo! Anyway, I love playing and I love teaching and doing all the stuff, and it is, however, sometimes expensive dealing with gear, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, and some individuals have unlimited funds and resources, as you might say, if you're in the politically correct game of how to speak. I'm no politician. But we do what we can, right? We're all doing what we can. One of the things that has become exorbitantly expensive is professional saxophone repair, work, maintenance, upkeep. So today's video, and what will be a series, I guess, of videos, come from the fact that I got asked to play some alto. And if you follow the channel, I play a lot of tenor these days. I started as an alto player when I was a kid, like you guys, and even all up through my time at Berkeley and all that, I was an alto player. And then 13 years ago, I bought a tenor from my friend Andy in New Jersey. He's also named Andy, good friend. And I bought a tenor from him, and that's when I started playing tenor. It took many years for my tenor sound to come together. I listened to early recordings of me on tenor, and it's not so happening. But it took a long time, but I found the sound here, and even though teaching, I still played alto and I still play soprano. I have the soprano. I've been playing that more. One of the reasons is George Garzone, the amazing saxophonist up here in Boston, famous saxophonist. He's been playing his soprano more, and boy, he sounds good on the thing, and it just inspires me to play it. So I'm playing that more, really, and the alto has gotten sort of back into the unplayed part of the instrument closet over there. So I have two altos. I have a Mark VI, which you'll see in a minute. And I have a Series 2 that I've had since I was a kid in high school. My mom bought me that horn. That was the first horn. And then the Mark VI is a horn I bought as a professional from a good friend, Josh Sinton, who's a great avant-garde saxophonist in New York who you should check out. If you like free music and baritone saxophone and bass clarinet and really experimental and creative stuff, Josh Sinton is a guy to check out. And he had this alto and was looking to sell it to put out an album to make some money, and I bought this alto from him. And it's a nice Mark VI, a lot of stuff in that whole Mark VI thing. And that's a whole other conversation for another time, because we're not really going to talk about the Mark VI itself. We're going to talk about the condition of the Mark VI and what it needs. I got asked to play a gig with a band called the Makonda Project. Mr. Makonda was a educator here in the greater Boston area and an incredible writer, and he just wrote all this music that never got performed, and after he passed away, they found all this music and started a group, and they perform his music a couple times a year. They've done albums, Makonda Project, check it out. And I'll be subbing for the great Curtis Rivers, who's an amazing local saxophonist, improviser, and Curtis is a great guy, and I love talking to Curtis. So the only bummer about subbing for him is I probably won't see him at the gig, So I'm going to be playing alto. It's a rehearsal, maybe a couple rehearsals, and then the show. And I'm going to bring my alto over to Frank. And Frank is an excellent repair guy, really nice dude, great tenor player in his own right. And just a really nice cat, really understands the horn. And so I'm going to bring the horn over to him. I'm going to ask him maybe just to keep the horn for a couple of days. I don't really want to do much to the horn. It doesn't need it. I don't play it that much. I don't want to put a half job on it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go off camera. We're going to put the horn over here on the little table. Audio is going to change because I can't use this setup. My setup isn't really set up for overhead, cam type, let's take a look at the horn sort of stuff. So I have to do it over here just to make things simpler. Because I want to get this content to you. Content! Yeah, content! All right. So anyway, welcome to YouTube. So this is an alto read. We're going to take the horn over here. I'm going to take a look at what we're talking about. And thanks for being with us. All right, so this is the alto. This is the Auto-Link slant that Adam Nywood refaced for me. It's 7-ish? I don't know the size. But anyway, this is a 3, which is a little too soft for me. I like how easy they are to play. But I'm going to need some 3.5s to do this gig with the Makonda Project, that's for sure. 4s are a little too much, but the 3s are a little too thin and soft, and I need the resistance. You know how it is? So anyway, I'm going to turn this mic down, and I'll give you a little idea, and maybe you can hear the low note issues that I'm having with the horn. I gotta adjust for it. All right, here with the neck. Hopefully this lighting is decent enough. You know, cork is okay. It's on there pretty solid. It's very compressed, but it's, you know, this is when they're really, really good right before they die. But it's still got Emilio's paint line. He used to put leather on the end, but he kind of stopped doing that. But again, this is an old Emilio job. The pad, oh, that lighting's much better. The pad is fine, really. That's his original painted pad on this overhaul. As you can see, it's not cut in any way, so that's fine. That's going to be good. Let's take a look at the rest. All right, here we are with the rest of it. The number on this horn is 98,009 something something. So one of the very last of the 5-digit horns. One of the things that means is it has the long bow, and that has to do with the shape for how long it is from here to here, how far the bell extends. Pseudo balanced actions, it's very short. Mark 6s, early Mark 6s, very short. And then they open it up, and then it gets small again. They were just trying to get the low notes not to gurgle. Alto is a monster. So even for the great designers, Alto has always been kind of a problem. Figuring it out, getting it right. So now this is an old Emilio job. We have our painted pads. This is probably 15 years old, this job. Maybe 10. I don't know, maybe 10. The B and B flat are still of his. The low C as well, as you can see. That's got some gunk on it. So that'll clean up, hopefully. We'll see. The E flat is not as original, as you can see. We have our E flat, sorry. This is a replaced E flat pad, and even so, it's still old. It's been on here a long time. Let me try and get my hand on it here for you. It's not terrible, so that might clean up, but you know, sometimes they just have to be replaced because they get so hard and brittle because of the moisture they acquire. All the way up on the left hand, let's flip him. So you can see here, D, E, F, F sharp are all still Emilio's blue pads. G sharp here. G sharp and G also. Okay, we got that. All the way up through B. So this is mostly an Emilio job. All the way up through B here, also blue. Even the C sharp pad here is still Emilio. Okay, so that's old. High E. Okay, and the octave, this body octave, all still Emilio. And then we get up to the palm keys, and these were replaced more recently by Jack, I'm pretty sure. In fact, we see three different pads there, as you can see. So anyway, that's what we have going on with this Alto. It's not terrible, but these are all very old pads. So this then begs the question: what is Frank going to see? And when he puts the leak light through and starts trying to move the pads around, that's when you get into a situation where, you know, we really should replace these ones. You know, leave these are all okay, replace these. Who knows, right? Two things I don't want to do. I don't want to spend a lot of money on the horn. That's the first thing. Second of all, it's, you know, I'm only really need it for this upcoming gig in July. So why have all this work done and then have it just sit in the case? So I'm really hoping he can just work with what's here. Some of which might not, you know, this low C with all that gunk on it there. that one will probably have to go, and probably a few of these up here, Frank's great at what he does, but he's also going to say, look, it's not worth trying to seat these pads. These are too messed up. Let's do those too, whatever. And if that's what he thinks, then we'll do it, right? So this is going to be the question: how much of what's here is going to get replaced? Again, aside from E flat and the 3 palm keys, everything else is original to the Emilio job. So there you go. So we will see what happens. I'll let you know. Here's the 2 ways it can go, right? It can go bring it in, hang out for an hour, talk shop, talk BS, and he works on the horn, or, yeah, you kind of need to leave that. So I actually might pop over today, say hi to Frank, just have him look at the horn and come up with a plan. I don't care if he doesn't work. He's not going to work on it today. I try not to just pop in. That's a busy shop, and it's not respectful to expect a guy to just work on your horn. Especially this is going to need a lot of work. So maybe what I'll do, of course, it's a rainy crap day. I don't really feel like leaving the house, but I might ride over there and say hey to Frank and see what he thinks we should do. And then at that point, schedule the time, whether it's leave the horn or come in the Monday before and spend an hour and doll it up. So there you go. So that's the plan. We'll talk to Frank. We'll see what he thinks, see how much it really needs, just to get it spruced up so the low notes come out at least, right? I mean, at least you can hope for. So we'll see how much it really needs. We're not springing for an overhaul. This is a patchwork, the old band teacher special we used to call it. So that's the plan with the Alto. I'll bring it back. We'll talk to Frank, and we'll see what we do. We'll come back and let me know your thoughts. What do you have access to decent repair? What does it cost? Does it frustrate you? Do you sometimes have to leave a horn and not play a horn because you can't afford to have it worked on? What are your situations? Let me know. We're all in different situations. Give me an idea. Let's start a conversation, as they say. And in your area, how does it work for you? And are you able to find good repairs? It's skilled labor, and we know in this country, skilled labor has very much gone by the wayside, and that's a part of why it's so expensive, because there's nobody that does it, right? So there's a few people, and there's long wait times. That's the deal. So we will be back a little more with the Alto and how it plays and all that kind of stuff.